Welcome back, guys, and a massive game for Liverpool. FA Cup game, Liverpool versus Wolves. We just lost 2-1 to Wolves in the league. A disgraceful result. A Wolves team that is bottom of the league. They've only just got over double digits in the Premier League this season. One of the worst seasons a Premier League team has had. And look, they drew with Arsenal. They've got a few other good results. And for us, yeah, it's a major blow. I think they beat Aston Villa as well, and now they've beat us. So they're playing freely. They're playing without any pressure, and they've got a few decent players. Definitely some players which will get poached, but look, it's not good enough. To our standards, it is not good enough. We have more than enough quality on that pitch to get over the line. I would make some changes for this game. I wouldn't have started some of those players anyway. I thought it was a bit criminal. I can see why people would say Gakpo shouldn't have started. I wouldn't have started Salah. And look, some of the other players were, yeah, it was 50-50 with them. I thought Joe Gomez was somebody who should have started again, but maybe it was down to fitness. I thought Rio should have started, but I'm guessing he was saving him for this game. Look, as much as I would love to rotate the midfield, Wolves' midfield looked very good last game that we just played them in, and we have to go strong in that midfield, otherwise we'll get dominated, which is crazy to say. Another key thing for this game, Salah has to be benched. We've seen enough. And if you think because he scored that goal, that means he played well, or that is sort of like a I don't know, but you look, it is not good enough. Salah cannot play this game. He cannot start this game at all. And I'm going to get into my lineup. I'm going to give you reasonings for why each player would start for me. And yeah, let's get into it. So, in goal for me, it'd be Mamadashvili. I think Alisson has been sloppy this season. His passing has progressively got worse throughout the years. And look, he's a bit slow to get down sometimes. And look, if Kelleher was at the club, he'd be starting. So why not start Mamadashvili? I don't think too much can go wrong from changing Alisson to Mamadashvili for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We should have enough to get over the line. Right back would be Joe Gomez for me. He just brings some more solidity to that defence. And it will make sense when I explain who I've got in front of him. Yeah, Gomez, he's just a good physical fullback, focused on defending. And do you know what? One thing about Gomez, he actually likes to get the ball and progress it, which is something we lack in our back line. Centre back partnership of Van Dijk and Konate. Yeah, Konate should have read Van Dijk was marking the Wolverhampton striker for their first goal. He should have read that, but Van Dijk should never have got spun the way he did. And then he had his hands in the air appealing. Van Dijk seems to be doing the blame game a lot. Doesn't take a lot of accountability, which is not good enough. But look, them two will start. Robertson, just lack of games, and look, he deserves a start. Why not? Not too much to say on him. Kirkes has been decent. Midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister. Gravenberch has been poor for me. McAllister's been poor. McAllister spends too much time rolling around on the floor. He doesn't spend enough time focusing on his football. He's a good player when he applies himself, but all of this diving around on the floor is not for me. It is not what Liverpool players do. Gravenberch, he looks absolutely shot to bits, burnt out, but I don't know what your other options are. I mean, you've got Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is one game's good, half a game's good, half a game's bad. Starts, he's terrible. Comes on, he's good. Curtis Jones, most inconsistent player ever. So it would be for me Gravenberch, McAllister, and just in front would be Szoboszlai. Obviously, Szoboszlai is the legs. He can get around the pitch, but for me personally, he lacks enough quality and enough creativity. Not quality, creativity to be that number 10, but Florian Wirtz isn't there, so it would be Szoboszlai in that position. Now, this is where it gets interesting. On the right, I would put Frimpong. Obviously, bear in mind, he would have Gomez behind him, so that gives him the solidity of sort of not being exposed and being able to just focus on attacking. And look, Frimpong is not the finished package. Can he reach a higher level? Definitely. Can he reach like a world-class level? I don't know. but is he effective? Definitely effective, and more effective than what we've got currently on that right wing, which was Mo Salah, who can't even control the football at the moment. And look, it's not Salah's fault, his legs are gone, but we have to play Frimpong. Like, that's a fact. He has to play this. On the left, now bearing in mind Frimpong being on the right changes a lot, because if you think back to last season when we had Trent, Gakpo managed to get a lot of goals when we had a lot of effective passes coming from the right side. That's what Gakpo's good at. He's good at getting at the back post and getting tap-ins. Do you know what I mean? Far post finishes, and he can bring that. But I would play Rio, so it'd be Frimpong and Rio on the wings. So Rio on the left, Frimpong on the right. And you've got that explosive pace. You've got a solid spine behind them. You've got solid fullbacks behind both of them to keep both very experienced fullbacks to keep everything under control. And then you can allow Frimpong and Rio to just use their blistering pace and see what we can get. And look, if they're terrible and it doesn't work after 60 minutes, you can take them off and change things. You're not losing anything because Gakpo and Salah have been terrible anyway. And then up front, Ekitike, which hopefully we can get a bit more out of him for this game compared to the last game against Wolves. I feel like he was trying, but there was just nothing for him to link up with. Salah couldn't pass the ball back to him, and yeah, it was rubbish. So hopefully with Frimpong and Rio it would be different. Do I think Slot will do this? No. So which is a shame. But look, let's see what he does put out. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that, because I think his job is on the line. I think that nothing's certain for Slot at the moment. Losing to Wolves, 20th in the league. It's either we start benching Salah, focus on results, and having 11 players, 10 outfield players who actually work for the team. Otherwise, we're going to end up in the Europa League, because Salah is not helping the team. He is just literally an invisible player who just gets the ball and loses it every single time he touches it. We can no longer play with 10 men, or we will end up in Europa League. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys after the game for a reaction.